looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I feel like falling in love. I'm in the mood to roll something up. Tonight I'm rolling something. I need some drink in my cup. Hey, I'm in the mood to pour something up. I wanna go missing. I need a prescription. I wanna go higher. Can I sit on top of you? I wanna go where nobody's been. Have you ever had fun like this? We're gonna roll up tonight.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm so used to hearing the not clean version. I'm wincing every time it comes to the chorus. It is definitely cuffing season. We're in the height of it right now. That's the song Cuff It by Beyonce. And I'm happy to welcome in a couple of professional women, professional Black women who are trying to help all of us in the relationship space. Lynn is the director of national accounts for a molecular diagnostics company. She's also responsible for bringing Keepin It 100 LA to LA from the Inland Empire. And Lynn Beatty, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you in the studio. What a beautiful smile you have. And we're also being joined by another Keepin It 100 member. She is a civil servant working in the insurance industry, skilled in Medicaid, healthcare management, managed care, healthcare, and more. She's the CFO of Keepin It 100 LA. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you in. Okay, so let's start with the basics, even though we've had folks from Keepin It 100 on before, and we're very happy to bring back our Messy Mondays. After a very serious election season, we need some levity and fun in our lives. So why don't you start? Lynn, tell us what Keepin It 100 LA is.
So Keeping It 100 LA is an organization focused on improving communication between Black men and Black women with the intention of trying to build relationships, build the Black family, and build the Black community. So we try to put Black men and women together in a room, in a fun environment. It gets very funny a lot of times, but it's also very enlightening because we want to have open and honest conversations about things that sometimes they don't always talk to each other about, but this is a safe space to do it. So we are happy to put these events on and really try and bring the Black community together.
And Stephanie, I mean, it sounds fun, but we're in a tough time, right? We're in a time where, at least from what I see online, and maybe I'm too online, but it seems like there are some obstacles to the unity and harmony between Black men and women right now.
Absolutely. You know, for me personally, I grew up in a two-parent home and in a very nice African-American community where people had a mom and a dad, and you just assume that, okay, we'll grow up and we'll get married and also keep the family tradition going. But what I have found is that there were many obstacles, and especially when I became a young woman finishing my college degree, there were many people that were coming that had come from a whole host of a lot of situations. And so once you've gone through some sort of challenge or you've had damage growing up as a kid, you bring it into adulthood.
Yeah. So you guys, how's that going? I mean, as far as like making, helping break down those barriers, bringing men and women together. I noticed that it seems like your events do have a fair number of men that participate. I feel like a lot of times in these relationship conversation spaces, it's more women, and you don't see the men joining. And you seem to have a fair number of women and men. How do you see that? Are you guys making progress?
I would say that we have been making progress since the organization's inception. There have been at least half a dozen or more marriages as well as engagements. And people talk about keeping it 100. They're glad to be able to come and just share and be able to be very candid about how they feel about certain relationship issues and situations.
Yeah, well, I mean, I commend you guys for the work that you are doing. I also push back a little bit on this idea that the only way people can build healthy Black families and the only way that we can thrive as women or men is in marriage. I mean, there's lots of different
Sure.
relationship
Absolutely.
and household configurations in today's world. Many raising healthy children or fostering stability and thriving in our community.
Oh, absolutely. We're not saying that that's the only healthy environment for the Black community to thrive, a man and a woman in a household. And especially not necessarily the institution of marriage. People have different opinions about that.
Right.
So if nothing else, we just want to breaks down some barriers between Black men and women, among Black people, and really just try and get folks to feel more comfortable communicating with one another.
Honestly, I think that breaking down barriers between us is a great thing, and and really exploring, being candid about relationships
Absolutely.
and marriage. And probably one of the big obstacles in marriage, and in the concept and in the reality of it, is the almighty side piece, right? I mean, that's it's something we talk about online, but I don't know if we talk about it in these so-called safe spaces.
That's true, because a lot of times when we talk about a side piece, a lot of times it's one side blaming the other for the situation.
Well, you mean like wives or husbands who have been cheated on, pointing the
Right.
finger at their spouse. This is why I'm leaving you, as opposed
Right.
to what would be the alternative?
Exactly. I guess the alternative is, hey, no cheating at all.
No cheating tolerated.
No cheating tolerated. Yeah.
Well, and one thing I've learned is that, side pieces are always typically have a negative connotation. But there are, like we talked about a moment ago, there are some instances where relationships are okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
a different conversation.
Is it still a side? I mean, it's a good point, because I'm not sure. Does it still count as a side piece if it's an open relationship?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
I guess
think
maybe not by definition. If
you're
Probably
in a
not.
polyamorous relationship, I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
I've never been in a
yeah.
in an intentionally polyamorous relationship.
that part.
I've been in them, but I didn't know it.
Yes. I think we all have.
Yeah. So I don't know if that counts or it doesn't count, and maybe someone who's an expert will call us 800-920-1580. But when we're talking about when I say side piece or other man, other woman, I'm talking about a situation where there's no agreement. Where one person is creeping or both people are creeping. Mm-hmm. And I remember when COVID first hit, there was a lot of conversation about marriages being under strain because one or both partners actually were creeping, and to be confined to just their actual partner was creating problems in the relationship.
Right.
Right.
It is different, and you also see that same dynamic sometime occurring, like when both partners retire and are now in the household all day, every day, and that hasn't been the dynamic of their relationship. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely some side piece situations out there, and it can be very stressful on the relationship. I think this time of the year, we played Beyonce's Cuffing It, or Cuff It at the beginning of the top of the hour, and I think that, especially around the holidays, people are feeling more festive, and, so a lot of single people are looking to try to find someone in their life, and sometimes that means that their requirements are diminished, so maybe they are willing to hook up with someone who's already in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought cuffing season, and Miles, correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought cuffing season meant you wanted to have an actual man or woman that you could take to the parties and introduce as your boyfriend, girlfriend, and also to keep you warm at night. I didn't know that it kind of meant just take anybody, lower your standards because you need to be with somebody.
I think it can be looked at different ways. I mean, I think, just having someone means different things to different people, right? It might be a different level, for some people, and some people it's actually just more, having a warm body, and that isn't always necessarily going to the parties. It could be, though. I mean, it definitely could be, and especially, I guess there is a difference between hooking up and side piece.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know that. Let's look in the dictionary.
Right, exactly.
Miles, what were you about to say?
I mean, from my perspective, from what I understand, side piece is meant to be on the side, to never be the one that actually gets to.
Right.
You don't take the side piece to the party. The side piece is more of just, it may take a little work to find the correct side piece. You may kiss a few frogs, I get you. But the side piece was always meant to just be the side, never the one that goes to the party.
Right, not the main one. So when
Right.
you think about cuffing season, do you think about hooking up with someone on the side, or do you think about having a main squeeze to show off and and keep you warm at night?
If you cuffing, I think it's more than just keep you warm or not. You're probably trying to build something out there.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
But that's also, you wouldn't just take it just anybody.
Right.
That's not something, like I said, maybe somebody else's standard is a little, maybe their options are different than yours. Maybe they don't possess what you possess. Maybe their self-esteem's a little low. So maybe their cuffing is a whole different point. But no, it was never just pick, whoever to have a warm body. Nah.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, like you said, different people have different requirements. Stephanie, you brought up the issue of, we'll touch on this when we come forward. You brought up the issue of blame. And I think when it comes to cheating and creeping and side piecing, there's a lot of blaming. And the question is, my question is, are we deflecting? Are we not looking at what's really going on in our relationships? We just want to say, you're the sleaze bag, or is that a healthy response? I want to talk about that. I also want to look at, Miles brought up an interesting point, and you brought this up too, Lynn, which is, what are your options? Do you have options? And many times as Black women, we hear, you don't have options. There's no men out there. Men don't want to get married. They don't want to marry you if they do want to get married. Black women are going to be single forever. That's the narrative. I like to push back on that narrative because you only need one. But I love to hear what Keepin It 100 LA has to say about these issues and more. You're invited in 800-920-1580. It's a messy Monday on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Football is just a tool for me to reach other people, and that's something that my dad was just so strong about. My goal is to see these kids just investing in each other, investing in the community, investing in mankind. That's ultimately the only way the world would be a better place, for real.
Heroes of the Game, brought to you by Nationwide. Watch the full episode at cassiuslife.com/hero.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Oh, this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Man. So much to address. Stephanie Farmer is with me in the studio. Lynn Beatty is with me as well. They are some of the architects behind Keepin It 100 LA, trying to bring black men and women together. I'm here for that all day, every day. You guys have an event. Speaking of cuffing season, something, we're talking about side pieces and mess in relationships during the holidays, but y'all are trying to bring people together in holy matrimony, committed relationships, and transparent love. So what do you have going on, Stephanie?
So what we have going on is our annual holiday event that is coming up this Saturday, December the 14th, and it will be at the Gathering Spot here in Los Angeles. And we are actually partnering with other Black organizations to put on a festive, fun event where we will have appetizers, drinks, dancing, conversation, fun, networking, and we invite people to come and join us.
So anybody can come.
Yes.
How do we find it? Is it like you go that day? It's the 14th, which is actually Saturday night this week. Great time, to if you're not in a relationship, I guess. Do people come who are in relationships and who are in couples? Do couples come?
Yes.
So anyone. And I notice it's on Eventbrite. Is that where we get our tickets?
Yes.
Okay. Eventbrite.com, Black Professionals, Home for the Holidays, Sweaters, Sneakers, House Party.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sounds like fun.
So, ladies, you can be comfortable. You can wear sneakers. And
be cute and comfortable.
Yeah, cute
That's
and
right.
comfortable. Yes.
That's
and
right.
what kind of things will take place? Are you guys going to do a panel discussion? Will there be food? Will there be drinking? Will there be dancing? Will there be confessions? Like what is actually going on?
This event is more focused on the networking and socializing, less of a formal like some of our other events throughout the year. So we just want to celebrate that we survived this tough year, right?
You go.
And just like you said earlier, just kind of have a good time and hopefully leave any negative vibes at the door. We'll have a great DJ. Our chief officer, Carrie Neal, is the DJ, and he does a fantastic job. So
yes,
we're
he's
partnering.
An excellent DJ.
Yeah, we're partnering with the National Black MBA Association for Los Angeles, the Michigan State University Black Alumni Association. Our sponsor is City National Bank, and so we're very pleased to be able to have them. The evening will start off around 5:30 with a bit of information from City National Bank about home ownership, which we know is an important
part. So you guys
throw
throw in a little edutainment in with
edutainment at the start of the evening,
excellent.
and then by around 7 p.m. it really just becomes a holiday party where we're just meeting new people and having a great time.
Saturday night at the gathering spot.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. So I was asking you, Stephanie, about what you said about pointing fingers. When people go outside their relationships, when they have extracurricular relationships, a lot of times there is finger pointing. And is that avoiding the issue? Is that, I mean, I was reading one relationship expert who says that infidelity is not the end of all relationships when it's discovered, and many times it can actually be an opportunity to figure out what's going wrong with your love match.
I would say that I would agree with it. I think it is very easy to put blame on the other person when infidelity happens, but there is a root cause for infidelity. And a lot of times what I have found is that either someone's needs are not being met, and that can mean a whole lot of things. But the other thing is, I think the number one reason why it happens is because the person is not being heard, or they're not feeling like their presence is being addressed or being respected. And I think that goes both ways. And so it's I'm not going to say that it's easy, but if there's someone that is willing to give you that respect, that attention, whether it be physical, emotional, financial, some combination of the two or three, and I'm just speaking in general terms, that's when infidelity can start.
Molly Bell says, come on, Dominique, let me get another cup of coffee and listen to my younger sisters. I can only dream. Now, is it okay to be like this honest at 77 years old? I have an excellent electric blanket.
Come on, 77 is the new 47. Come on.
That's right. Yeah. And I already like her.
Especially if you're glamorous like Molly Bell, I got to tell you. Paul Lee says women are way better players than men these days. I'd argue the past 20 years for sure. They set the tone these days with these newer age guys. I think it is fair to say that both men and women cheat. You agree?
Yes,
so too.
Absolutely.
You guys agree? Yeah.
And we typically are a little bit more, strategic in what we do. We're good at multitasking. We've always had to be, right? You know, so I'm not, there's no true confessions here per se.
Per se? Wow. Well, that per se was doing a lot of heavy lifting in that.
Is it cheating in your head, or is it just cheating has to be physical?
Well, and
just in your head?
And there's another thing, because what one person thinks is cheating, another may not. Right. Mm-hmm. Some people think flirting is cheating, in which case, do not marry a Gemini. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't get me started on Geminis. But anyway.
Oh, go ahead. You're talking to one. So
okay. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I can take it.
But I know also
what a pain we are.
Female versus male Gemini, maybe they're different. My ex-husband was a Gemini, so.
I'm sorry. Let us pray.
Exactly.
Yeah, but.
And I'm a Virgo, so I'm used to
like
structure.
My ex-husband.
Okay, you see?
Well, I'm a Libra, which balances
there
things.
You go.
So I'll just balance things
there you
here.
go.
You better step in, Stephanie.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I mean, what do couples need to define specifically what cheating means to them? Because some people think, you always hear about the emotional cheating, or people have work husbands or work wives, and they may not ever be sleeping together or even thinking about sleeping together. But if you're emotionally intimate, does that amount to infidelity? Does flirting amount to infidelity? For me, it doesn't. But I think, do couples need to sit down and
Yes.
How do you even do that?
I mean, there's so many things that couples should sit down and talk about, and I think that has created a lot of conflict in the past. So part of what we're trying to do is to establish a way for people to talk to one another, right? Or at least really convey the importance of just open and honest discussion, whether that's in a group or one-on-one. But yeah, I mean, you're going to talk about how our finances are going to be managed. You're going to talk about child rearing.
Hopefully,
and
yeah.
if you want to have children, just a lot of things that really should be discussed if you're really trying to move forward with a serious relationship versus just the initial infatuation and attraction, right?
I mean, but even if you never talked about that before you got married, you probably should think about talking about it now.
Oh, absolutely.
You maybe you don't have a prenup, and I just say that in a philosophical sense, but you can still set rules and boundaries after you're already in a committed relationship or a marriage, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And you need to continue to set rules and boundaries when you're in a committed relationship, because sometimes things could be going just fine, and then all of a sudden your spouse introduces you to their coworker that they've been talking about, and you're like, yeah. Then you meet that coworker and you're like, whoa, I didn't know that's what its coworker looked like.
Right. You didn't tell me she was Halle Berry. Right. What the heck? Yeah, absolutely. And this book that I was looking at, he says, some people think sexting is not cheating.
Oh my goodness.
Some people think porn is cheating. So you've got to be that specific.
I agree.
How close is too close to a coworker, to your point?
Right.
Yeah, because we all hear the term, day husband, day wife, or whatever, and usually it's very lighthearted, but sometimes it could be signs of a problem.
Right. Hold that thought. We're going to take a look at news, traffic, and sports, and you're invited into this Messy Monday convo on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The Syrian government has collapsed after rebels seized Damascus. President Bashar al-Assad resigned and fled, with opposition forces declaring victory. Jurors in Daniel Penny's subway chokehold trial will resume deliberations today, focusing on criminally negligent homicide after the manslaughter charge was dismissed. Penny, a former Marine, is accused of causing the death of homeless man Jordan Neely. NBC News is reporting Jay-Z is accused in a civil lawsuit of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000, allegedly with Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit was refiled Sunday. Jay-Z claims his lawyers received a blackmail letter to settle out of court and denies the allegations. And the 12-team college football playoff bracket is set. Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State have first-round byes. The first round starts December 20th with Notre Dame hosting Indiana. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Rams won the highest scoring game in the NFL this season. They beat the Buffalo Bills 44-42 at SoFi. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua had 12 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Rams are 6-2 after a 1-4 start. They're a game behind first place Seattle in the NFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs needed a 31-yard field goal as time expired to beat the Chargers Sunday night 19-17. The 8-5 Chargers are still in the mix for a wildcard spot in the AFC playoffs. LeBron missed his first game of the season Sunday with a sore left foot. The Lakers were still able to beat Portland 107-98 and snap a 3-game losing streak. 28 points and 14 assists off the bench for D'Angelo Russell. The Clippers lost at home to Houston 117-106. A groin injury kept James Harden out of the lineup. Bones Highland stepped up with 22 points off the bench. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
On behalf of her precious family, it is with profound sadness that KBLA Talk 1580 announces the passing of our beloved colleague, Robin Ayers, on Thursday, December 5th. Robin was a bright light. You could see her radiant smile through the radio. We all respected her immense talent, loved her jovial spirit, celebrated her love of family, and honored her faith in God. Our thoughts and prayers are with Robin's entire family, most especially her husband Rob and her twin daughters Brooklyn and Madison. We ask you to join us in praying for the Ayers family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. In her honor, all this week, we're broadcasting the best of the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
The organization is Keepin It 100 LA. The conversation is a messy Monday, side pieces for the holidays. Stephanie Farmer is the CFO of that organization, Lynn Beatty, the treasurer, and they are connecting black men and women all the time in healthier relationships. But since it's messy Monday, we're talking about the not so healthy side. And, you know, I was asking you, like, okay, so if one person cheats on the other person, many times we go to finger pointing. It could be an opportunity to reset. We were talking about whether or not people have the same definition of cheating. And I was reading an article in Science Focus from the BBC, and it says that scientifically, it's proven that most people do not agree on what amounts to cheating. Most people believe having sexual intercourse with someone outside the relationship is cheating. But after that, there's no agreement. Where do you draw the line? Is it a kiss? Is it a certain kind of hug? Is there how many seconds of that hug?
Right.
You know, is it physical intimacy? Is it sometimes emotional intimacy can be even more intense, you know, than just that hug or kiss. Some people don't consider oral sex to be cheating or touching each other's private parts. So,
Oh my.
I mean, I'm looking at this article in Science Focus. They say, yeah, most people would think of any kind of physical contact. But where do you draw the line?
Well, I certainly think oral sex would qualify. Let's be clear.
Hello.
Yes, I think one of our presidents tried to make a case otherwise,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think most people would say that. touching the other person's genitals, that sort of thing. I think.
What about kissing? Is a kiss on the cheek cheating?
I don't
Is
think
is
a kiss
on the lips necessarily cheating? If you're not making out, if you're just going mwah.
I think if it happens frequently, yes.
I think we have to. I'm thinking about this during this conversation. We probably have to spell this out.
I would say so, because then we start to get into, if you have an OnlyFans account, is that cheating? If you have
no.
If you have checked, more than 3 likes on someone's Facebook account, is that cheating?
No.
If you're giving another person a lot of money, is that cheating?
Ooh, I never thought about that. Miles says yes.
Yeah.
Mike, Miles, yes, that's definitely cheating.
Yeah, what? You taking money out of the family bank account to support somebody else? What?
Oh, I completely agree. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
there's so many different ways of cheating that can impact the family,
Financial
the family
cheating,
unit. Yeah.
Spiritual cheating.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, as we were talking about earlier, having a conversation about it is important. And as Stephanie said, though, that conversation isn't probably just a one and done. It's probably going to have to evolve as the relationship evolves and things change and workplaces
And situations change,
and so
yeah.
forth.
Thus the situationship title. Well, according to Benjamin Warwick, who's a clinical psychologist and an infidelity researcher, who knew there was such a thing,
right,
at Stony Brook University, studies have shown that individuals frequently differ in their subjective understandings of infidelity. So, one person's cheating is another person's, Tuesday.
That's right. No, that's true.
Oh, look, your fellow Keepin It 100 LA organizer, Carrie Neal, is on the phone. Good morning, Carrie.
What's up, Dominique? What's up, Lynn Beatty? What's up, Stephanie? All this beauty going on in the morning in the studio. That's a beautiful thing. But look. look.
Okay,
was
that flirting?
Right? Hey, look. Okay, so I'll try to sit back and rest and enjoy this very thoughtful, provocative discussion, but I got to chime in. So real quick, I want to make one distinction. Then I want to talk about the how people perceive cheating. So the first thing about the side piece. The unique thing about the side piece is that the side piece realizes that he or she is a side piece. They know their role. They have their marching orders. They're not expecting, they may have a plan of action they can move up to the first slide. But a side piece recognizes that they're a side piece. That's why they're a side piece. That's the first thing we should clear up, right?
As opposed to someone who is one and they're being deceived into thinking that they actually are dating the person,
right,
or that they have a chance. Although I would argue that most people that are in those kind of relationships, they can catch feelings and secretly hope to become
that part.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I'm sure a side piece oftentimes will acquiesce to being a side piece because they hope to get promoted. Right?
I mean, and it happens. It happens. Look at Queen Camilla.
And it does happen, right?
Look at the Queen of England. She started out as a side piece.
Oh, yeah.
And now she's a queen side piece. Anyway, go ahead.
True.
You mean side pieces happen in the white community too? Oh, that's interesting. But anyway, so the other thing is too, I think that research from Stony Brook and some of the other things you guys have been saying is spot on in terms of the ambiguity around what actually is cheating. I mean, you'll be blown away by someone thinking that you like someone's post, that's an encroaching upon the relationship and the whole bit, right? So it's very interesting. And then last thing I'll just say this, and I'll get you guys where you can finish this amazing discussion, is that this is the holiday season. And for some reason, all this conversation about there's not enough black men around. I mean, I guess you guys are kind of saying that as well, which I completely refute. I wrote an article about it, but that's a whole other story. But the thought is that the perception of deficit and scarcity of the opposite sex, particularly during the holiday season time, just all the more magnifies and spikes the possibility of someone being willing to be a side piece or settle for a situation, even though it's not ideal for them long term, but it at least meets their immediate needs. So that's my 2 cents. Have a great conversation, you guys.
All right, Carrie Neal, thanks for chiming in.
Thank you, Carrie Neal.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really expecting to delve into this whole area of what we consider cheating and what we don't consider cheating, but I guess it's kind of central. And we were talking, off the air about how some people, particularly this gender gap, and how some men are just not ready for the idea that women also stray.
Right.
Right.
I think, kind of within our culture, and that's not necessarily just the Black community, but, I'm of the Black community, so that's my area of familiarity. But within our culture, we've heard many times over the years, men are hunters and they just have to be out there hunting, and, for them to stray or to cheat or have multiple women is normal. But women, we're supposed to be holding down the household and kind of more domesticated. And a lot of that is very outdated, but I think there's still some residual of that where in those instances where a woman might cheat and might be unfaithful, I think men take it a lot harder than if a woman finds out that her husband has cheated. And I think that's, or her mate has cheated. And I think that's kind of based in some of those old beliefs of where cheating is a little bit more normal for men and just so abnormal for women. But as we said earlier, I mean, there's more women that are doing this, and when we do, we're often a little bit better at it. So,
do you guys think liking a post is cheating? I've seen a lot of conversation on social media, women going off and leaving their boyfriends and having fight. I don't see it that way. Now, if you like every one of her posts and she's butt naked, then we got a problem here. But I don't see that. Is that cheating to you, Miles? If a woman likes a guy's posts or vice versa, do you see that as cheating? He's, millennial, so.
No, cheating.
That was
not cheating. Not cheating. It's a conversation starter. Not cheating.
It's not cheating, but you think it's suspect.
It's a combo starter. Definitely a combo.
So, i.e., you're trying to start a conversation with that person whose post you liked.
I mean, it's a combo starter between me and you. We want to talk about
in the relationship. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but is it cheating? No, it's not cheating.
I have heard from some of my married male friends that their wives have tracked the posts that they like.
Yeah, for sure.
And have come after them about multiple posts for particular women.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And I've heard women insisting on block her.
Yes.
Or unfollow her. I don't want to have to control you like that, baby.
Right.
If it's that serious, do your thing, hon.
Right.
A lot of women.
It's got to be a little bit more sense of being more secure.
Yeah. What were you about to say, Miles?
So a lot of women that I've dealt with, they have an issue with it if it's a new person, if it's somebody who hasn't been in my algorithm before, if it's a new follower, somebody I just found out.
Yeah, I don't want to have to watch you like that. I'm not reading your freaking phone. I'm
That's
not
right.
tracking your likes. If you can't, show up and man up for me, then bye.
Yeah, it'll show up eventually without having to do that much.
Sadly, yes. Although, according to Science Focus, only 17.45% of people in their studies are cheating. It's a lot less. It's a lot of people, but it's a lot less than we commonly think. There's women that walk around with this all men are dogs mentality. And men, these girls ain't loyal mentality.
Well, and we have those conversations when we have our Keepin It 100 events. Those perceptions, those myths, those stereotypes where people say all men are dogs and men say all women are impossible.
Yeah. Women are not loyal. They're H-O
yeah.
something. Yeah. And so, I mean, for me, part of it is being willing to commit and step out on faith to a point. And I want to, we'll address this when we come forward, when we continue this conversation. If we say that you cheating on me means it's automatically over, does that mean we're valuing sex above everything else?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk more about that when we continue. Should it be a deal breaker or should it just be a strength maker? Let's talk about that. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Festive Feaster.
Who wants another slice of Grammy's famous pumpkin pie?
I do not. I think I need to lay down for a minute.
You overdid it on all the family favorites, and now your stomach's throwing a Yuletide tantrum. Undo it with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to the feast and the festivities.
Who's ready for some games?
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Many homeowners and businesses use man-made stone as an alternative to traditional stone for their countertops. Handling these products puts workers' lives at risk. Without proper conditions, workers could die from the terminal lung disease silicosis. Employers must supply respiratory protection and water systems. It's essential to wet stone when cutting it to prevent breathing in dust. Do away with dusty, deadly practices. Visit WorkSafeWithSilica.org. This is a message from Cal OSHA.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Your credit score.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Yeah, that part. So is it, if someone cheats on you, now we're talking about physically cheating, sex, okay, to follow the science and be definitive in what we're saying. If we walk away from a committed relationship or marriage, does that mean we're prioritizing sex over everything? Does that mean we're saying his monogamy or her monogamy is more important than the well-being of my kids, my financial future, and all of the breakdowns that come with the end of a marriage?
I would say, yeah, you are. And certainly there are things that lead up to the cheating. And if we're defining cheating by sex with another person, there's got to be a multitude of things that have led up to it. And that's when couples need to have that serious face-to-face talk. And it takes more than one conversation about why did this happen and where are you with this? What are we going to do? What do you want to do? What do you think I want to do? How do you think this makes me feel? And so on and so on.
Yeah. Well, Jerry Anderson says communication builds trust. Too much communication can break trust down. There is such a thing as TMI. I don't have to know everything you're thinking. Please, you don't need to tell me you thought that woman was hot or whatever. Just keep that to yourself, Bubba. Enjoy the view. Do you think that we place too much emphasis on monogamy? Is monogamy an impossible standard for women or men? Or is that the righteous commitment that we make in marriage or an exclusive relationship?
I still fundamentally believe that monogamy is the goal, the ideal situation between one man and one woman. I understand that might not be the case for everyone, but, that's why you have to have these conversations and find out whether or not the other person's looking for the same thing. They might not be. And it's tough, though, because, as I'm divorced, dating, and often I try to be upfront and say, this is what I'm looking for, a monogamous, committed relationship, possibly leading to marriage. And it's tricky because I don't think a lot of men, there are some men that will say that that's what they're looking for as well, and they're fine with that. But let's just wait and see, and it's too soon. And that always concerns me, like they're trying to leave like an opening for something else. And it's like, I'm not telling you what to want. I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page. If you want something different, then good for you. But yeah, I think that a monogamous, committed relationship with one other person, and we're talking about men and women in this conversation, but we know that there are, other types of relationships,
right.
women and women, men and men, and so forth. So we're not at all trying to diminish the value of those
Good point. And I think
family units.
The same rules apply as far as communication, right?
Absolutely. I think so,
And being on the same page as far as your understanding.
Right.
It is an interesting point, though, because, you don't want to go into a dating relationship like, well, I'm looking to be married. Wow, let me run the other way. But at the same time, men say that women pretend that's not what they're looking for when they really are, but then they can't handle it when people are straightforward and say, this is what I want.
Yeah, you don't want to say it in the first conversation.
Probably not the first date, right?
Right. But I think early enough on that you're not going to be wasting anybody's time if you guys are looking like for two very different things, right? It is tricky. I certainly, I'm single, so obviously I don't know the answer. But, just from all the conversations we've had at Keeping It 100, one thing that we're not doing at our holiday party, but we do at other parties and events, is that we bring in like very experienced, very highly educated relationship experts to our events. So it's not just a variety of people with their own opinions about things. We've got some experts there.
Yeah.
So, we try and really make sure that it's a meaningful, informative discussion as well as being fun.
Forensic accountant says that emotions sometimes make us dumb, and I think that's right. I think that's right. Yeah. You know how you look back and you go, what was I thinking? Because I had the vapors.
Right. He was just so fun.
And Paul says men actually respect a straight shooter too. I think that is true sometimes. Secure men, Paul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But this other, we probably don't really have time to address it, but I'll bring it up anyway. This other thing that was in this scientific article is we think once a cheater, always a cheater. But according to the science, that is not true. Just because somebody cheated in a previous relationship doesn't mean that they will necessarily cheat on you. You guys agree, disagree?
I
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, why?
I think people change. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say people change, and it depends on the situation as well. So, for example, if I cheated with someone and he was cheating with, on his wife to get with me, he might cheat on me to move on to the next relationship. But if we meet and he cheated on his wife and it had nothing to do with me, perhaps he's grown, he's changed, he's ready for something more serious, and there may have been other underlying reasons for why he cheated on his wife.
Yeah, I think to me it's like you got your Pete Hegseths, right, the guy who's trying to be defense secretary, who admitted to cheating 5 times in his first marriage. Like that's one scenario. And then you have a person that got caught up in a situation and perhaps there's a different dynamic, hopefully, or they've gone to therapy and worked on themselves, hopefully. There's a new dynamic. We definitely don't have time for this, but there's a lot of married people cheating with other married people. Like, you know what I mean? Well, both people are married. Are you a side piece if you're also a husband or wife?
Well, like I said earlier, isn't that kind of the zero-sum gain, right? It cancel each other out, right? I think that might be the thinking of
We're
it,
all
right?
side pieces.
Right? Well, they both have something. They both have something to lose. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, definitely have heard of that situation.
Tiffany said we're all side pieces in the big picture. Woo! Right. But for the grace of God.
Right.
There go I. Well, look, it's been really fun talking with you guys. Remind folks about your party. It's a party. It's a holiday party where you might learn a thing or two about relationships.
And you just might meet someone.
There you go. This Saturday, the 14th.
At the gathering spot.
Yes, and it'll be a lot of fun. Starts at 5:30, but the party starts at 7. So, if you've got other things going on during the day, still come on out and have a good time. Runs until midnight. Food, drinks, great music.
I mean, that's a long party. You could actually meet someone, court, and get married by the end of the party.
We'd love that. Yes, we will have a minister on board. But yeah, so the first part is a bit of, informational, and then we just, sweaters and sneakers, have a good time, and party the night away.
At the gathering spot on La Brea and
it's on Adams.
Yes,
Yeah.
west of La Brea. Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Thanks for having us.
We'll have to do it again. I'm going to quote Bell Hooks on the way out the door. She says, to love well is the task in all meaningful relationships, not just romantic bonds. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Tavis Smiley is up next. He's got a full lineup for you today. Thank you so much for being with me here and helping pay tribute to our beloved colleague, Robin Ayers, who will not be forgotten around these parts. Her spirit lives on at KBLA, and we honor and uplift her. I'm Dominique DiPrima. Like my mom used to say, history is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica